Australia's expanding reliance on overseas fuel is set to increase. Shell is planning to close one of Australia's oldest oil refineries at Clyde in Sydney's west, the source of some 40% of New South Wales fuel supplies and 10% of the country's. The oil giant says it simply can't compete and will turn it into an import terminal. Here's Andrew Robertson.
It might be an eyesore, but Shell's Sydney oil refinery has been keeping Australians on the move for nearly 100 years. Now time and changing market conditions have finally taken their toll.
This proposal is the result of increased competition from new mega refineries in Asia, supply and demand in our region, and Clyde refinery's small size.
Shell's Clyde refinery processes about 75,000 barrels of oil a day, which is about 10% of Australia's needs. Much of that refined product is sold through its 800 Shell-branded service stations and 600 Coles Express stores. But it's a small refinery by world standards and is in need of major investment, which is why resources analyst Gavin Wendt is not surprised Shell wants to close it.
The Australian refining industry is pretty much symptomatic of refiners worldwide. The real issue is refining margins, which have steadily been decreasing over time. And basically, it's not really a highly profitable business to be in these days.
For the man who heads the New South Wales Service Stations Association, the real surprise is that Clyde has been open so long.
The last time Shell did a big review of this kind, which was in the early part of the year of the 2000 decade, 2002, 2003, it was very much an iffy proposition then. That was in response to the need for investment for higher fuel standards, which it made, but with some uncertainty about whether or not more efficiencies could be made at the refinery.
And on that point, Gavin Wendt says refineries in places like Singapore, which is where Shell will replace the Clyde output, are much more advanced than those in Australia.
There certainly wouldn't be any problems, any issues with petroleum products coming into Australia from Singapore. Indeed, a significant amount of the petroleum that the people put in their cars now already comes from Singapore.
Shell's proposal to close its Clyde refinery means Australia could soon be importing up to 50% of its petrol and diesel needs, which raises the issue of fuel security. That's something the Service Stations Association lays squarely at the feet of the federal government, saying it's up to Canberra to create the conditions where business will want to invest.
The more we talk down pricing rather than talking up pricing, the more we're going to see people withdraw. We've already seen Mobil withdraw from fuel retailing. We've now seen Shell withdraw significantly from fuel refinery. Some years ago, Mobil closed down its Port Stanback refinery.
And Ron Bowden adds the more fuel Australia imports, the more vulnerable it is to the exchange rate and the whims of its suppliers.
More and more we're going to have to compete with buyers in other parts of the world. We're going to have to compete with motorists in Hong Kong, in Shanghai, in Delhi, all over the world. We no longer have control.
Which for Ron Bowden means only one thing, and that's higher prices. For now, though, 300 people at Shell's Clyde refinery are wondering how much longer they'll have a job.